Mr. Woodson does have to leave by 3 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Okay. So sometime before 3, I'm gonna just let you squeeze.
Oh, no, he's gonna be.
Okay, he's gonna be part of this conversation.
Yeah.
You wanna bring your chair right here?
Absolutely, thanks so much.
Here, look, I'm gonna give him this mic. Was the food good to everyone?
Wonderful.
So Apple Spice Junction, just giving a shout out to them.
The chicken wasn't big enough. Other than that, it was okay. What do you say?
Thank you so much.
The plates were chicken.
Big chickens and king broth.
Well, let me say this, I just came in this morning from Seattle, and I wanted to make sure I got here, because this is one of my heroes, big time. Bob's a pioneer. It's not like he started this now. He's been doing this his entire life. And to be in a position where we have this type of grouping of folks who want to figure out how can we move our communities further? How can we take our talents and really make a difference? And I'll say at the end of the day, it really is here where we make the difference. You know, we look at DC sometimes at the bills that pass, but it's really what we the people do on the ground that touch each other's hearts one by one that really kind of grows out and makes the thing work. So I'm excited about where we're heading off to. I think there's never been a better time to have these kind of conversations. Let me just say one last thing, what's happening in DC, and then I'll just get back on. We just got our speaker this last week. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to that. It's been 3 weeks. Never in the history of conferences that ever happened before. We got a speaker. And it was one of the most exciting experiences I've ever gone through. I've only gone through it once before. And that's when I played with the Raiders back in 81. It was a team of motley crew, guys who second chance, and we're supposed to be rebuilding. And we figured out a way, as we got through the season, that we stopped focusing on ourselves and start focusing on our vision, our mission, which is to win. Respect each other, and the minute we put our foot in the field, we're going to give everything we have. It's called unity. It was the most exciting feeling I've ever had. In all the years I've played in football, it's the first time I've experienced that. That's what we have going right now. We've gone these last 3 weeks with people coming through, and I'd say we have 4 or 5 families within our conference that they really do believe in different ways of approaching a lot of different things. And so there's always someone to be voting against. That's just always been the case. Well, we found a guy, Mike Johnson, who everybody voted for, unanimous. For us to do that as a conference is amazing. It goes back to those first 3 words in the papers that define who we are, we the people, there's power and unity. And so what we have right now is the most united conference I've ever been part of. I think that anyone that's there that has ever been part of. So just watch out what's gonna happen. Now that we're united, the things will get done, the message will be able to get out, the hope will be able to get to folks, the respect will get back to the institution. It's gonna take a while, we're gonna get there. But just know that what we're doing back there is actually we can be built across the country, become one. We do that, and that's what Bob's mission has been all along. How can we come together and really build our country back to what it was designed to be? So that being said, we're excited about where we are and excited to be here for sure.
Good, thank you. What we're going to do for this last hour, we're going to have you introduce yourself and your heads of organizations or ministries, and just share with us, as we have begun to do, what are the challenges that you face that can be met. Just for your background, what we've been talking about is the country is at a crossroads. University of Virginia study said that 40% of Democrats feel as if in order to prevent Republicans, violence is not off the table, and same on the other side. The big battle that's going on in the country is among elites, as we said. And I quoted Delano Squires, he said, it's guilty white people who are seeking absolution from crimes they never committed. And elite blacks who are seeking absolution from injustices they never suffered. And there's an old African proverb that when bull elephants fight, the grass always loses. The losers are people in the communities that you serve. And therefore, the only way that this country is going to be saved is when the voices in those communities speak out for themselves with their own remedies. We have 3,000 grassroots leaders of all different racial groups in 39 states. And we've had retreats and conferences. And in those 40 years, racial animus or ethnic differences never came up, because 80% of the people we serve had letters in front of their names, X something. Ex-thug, ex-drug addict, ex-prostitute. And these are people who have been delivered through God's redemptive power. And when they get together, all they want to do is celebrate their triumph over brokenness. Not race, not ethnicity. They just want to share the excitement of having been delivered. And these are the people that I think we have to, at the Woodson Center, give a voice to it. You are the Josephs that I talk about in my book. And there are two types of Josephs. There are Josephs in the gospel who was blameless. He didn't do anything. He still suffered injustices. But he never succumbed to bitterness either. Because he recognized that you can't do anything angry or mad that's beneficial to you. You can't make love, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't do anything but be mad. But he was faithful to his God with all the trials and tribulations that he went through. And he stayed faithful to his God. And so when Pharaoh called on him and said, I understand you can interpret dreams, he said, no, I can't do it. God does. I'm merely the vessel. He had become humbled in the years he was in prison. And he told Pharaoh, there'll be 7 years of plenty, then 7 years of famine, save up 20%. And then appointed overseer. And Pharaoh did something unprecedented in the history of the world, and that is a rich, powerful man who was able to dream bad dreams in good times, reached out into the prisons and appointed a 31-year-old Hebrew inmate, uneducated Hebrew inmate, to be second in command. But we, and the other types of Josephs who are fallen and were prostitutes and thugs, and through God's grace they've been redeemed, both are witnesses to people that redemption is available to them. And that's why you all are the Josephs, because you've been through hell. You know what trials and tribulation, and you refuse to be defined by what has happened to you. And so that's why I'm coming here. And what we need to do, though, is that the qualities that make you effective in your communities, and you are healing agents, also makes you invisible to funders or others. Religious organizations and corporations don't know how to distinguish between race hustlers and legitimate Josephs. So that's why I'm here. That's why the Woodson Center exists. Because we want to validate you as legitimate recipients. So we want to help you close the gap between what you can capable of doing versus what you can afford to do. There's a gap there. And so, so we hope to begin to unite you with the pharaohs of this world and say to the nation, if you want to save this nation, then you must invest heavily in grassroots healing agents that are like antibodies to the human body. Collectively, you can become an immune system. And so America is in desperate need of a reformation. And that reformation and that moral brush fire can only burn from the bottom up. And so that's why we're here. But in order to help you to become available for support, you gotta have yourself prepared for that. Because part of it isn't just passion to serve, it's ability to be good stewards. And so that's why we're here. I have books for you, and I just wanted to just mention some of the Woodson principles that I tell people to look for. I tell pharaohs, if you want to go look, often people want to go into low-income communities, all they see is pathology. All they see is broken windows. All they see is people hanging out. They don't see the embers of renewal that you represent. So the first thing that we say is look for solutions where the problem is. And then once you find it, support them. And so without any further ado, we want to hear from you, and I want Congressman Owens to get to know you and others. But so if you would just, Jamie, start over here, Gutierrez. And you all just, one of you
We
representing
have
the
two microphones,
organization.
so I'm gonna let y'all share.
And just share your organization and give us a word about what would be helpful to you to receive this.
Yeah, hello everybody, I'm Lorenzo. I have an organization, a nonprofit for one and all with my two other partners, Andre and Antoine. So what our organization focuses on is we try to bring resources and opportunities to the underserved community. We focus on doing free events for the community. We have done a free skating event, we've done a free community support festival, and free haircuts for the whole community, and then also backpacks. But I don't know. I think the biggest challenge for us is collectively coming together, as organizations, and being willing to support each other. And I even been at fault of that, and I've kind of came to the conclusion and held myself accountable that make time for what's important to you. And so that's why I've been trying to step up as a man and support people and put myself out there. But I think that what we can do better is just to really support each other. And that's what I've noticed looking from the outside in is other communities. I look at my community and I see a need, right? But I look at other communities, Salt Lake, Kaysville, Davis County even, and I feel that they get the resources. They have a rec center. Now we have a rec center because we have people that are, advocating for that. But I look at stuff like that and I feel that that's what our community needs. And I feel in order to bring that is we have to work together. And sometimes there's going to be a leader, sometimes there's going to be a follower. And I don't think that we all need to be leaders at the same time. Maybe we can step back and follow the lead. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've seen. So.
Okay, next door to you here. I want you.
Well, thank you. My name is AJ. I'm the founder of Fam Enterprises. Fam Enterprises is a record label comprised of myself, some of my friends, an extraordinary crew of people whose mission is very simple. We want to make the world a better place. The philosophy behind everything I do, from the way I wake up to the day I go to bed, or for the time I go to bed, is I want to be the change in the world that I wish that I had, everything I wish that I had. And a big part of the reason I took my life path, and my life was troubled. I grew up with a heroin addict mother. My father was a no-show, never met the man. When I reached out to him, he didn't want to meet. I caught my first case at the age of 10. I caught a case every single year from age 10 until age 19. At age 19, I got some really big trouble. Crime escalates, you know what I mean, as you go. I did 11 years, and so I lost my 20s. And so one of the biggest things I noticed, the correlations in my life is one, I didn't seem to matter to anybody. Two, the people that I did matter to were headed the wrong direction. And three, nobody ever offered me anything better. Nobody ever came in, nobody ever stepped in and offered me anything better than what I had. So I went with the flow. I went with where I thought I belonged. I went with what I thought I should be, with who I thought I was like. I didn't have examples, like the sister was saying earlier. I didn't have people that looked like me, that came from where I came from, that I could look up to or aspire to be like. Nobody to latch on to, no guidance. And so my entire mission, every week I try to take out my nephews and nieces, like my mission in life is to be the change, like to be everything that I wish I had growing up. And if I can save just one kid, one person, it'll all be worth it. And so what we do with our music is we try to create the outlet. We try to get somewhere, a positive place to go. We be around positive, like-minded people. But it's more than just that. When you get involved in the community, like I said, what you rub shoulders with, it rubs off on you. And so I stay with people around me that have goals, that have dreams, that have insights, that challenge the way that I think. Because I know that it makes me a better person, and I challenge the way that they think. People that'll hold me accountable, but will still love me despite my faults. And we want to try to kind of bring people into this, and teach these values, teach these character traits, look past race, I'm a biracial person. My whole team, man, you would never know, like, with my Mexican family, Middle Eastern family, my white family, my black family, it's all fam. And that's why I said the name of my record label was fam. Fam's to anybody that holds space in your heart. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying to do. The struggles that we face, man, in the community is one, like I said, the stereotypes. I'm from prison. I don't hide that. I wear that with pride because it's part of what made me who I am. I want to be the man I am today without the experiences I went through. I'm extremely proud of it because I overcame it. Another thing that holds me back is the music thing. Everybody thinks that, especially nowadays, right, being a rapper is like some cliche thing. But if you really pay attention, man, hip hop is the most dominant genre of music in the world. Not in the United States of America, in the world. It's infused with every part of every culture globally, whether it's reggaeton in the Middle East, everybody has incorporated pieces of this music. Its power is beyond description. And that's why it became cliche, is because so many people are into it. So many people are into it, why not use this as a tool to affect change? Why not use this to change the world? You know what I'm saying? And so this is our mission. It's what we're trying to do. Just need people to open their minds, open their hearts. And if you really care, open your wallets. Thank you.
My name is Tim Henderson. I'm the pastor of Integrity Christian Fellowship. 37 years federal service, 4.5 years in the military. Came out here in 1981 with the purpose of staying here for about 6 months and going back to North Carolina. I'm still here. For 12.5 years, I was listening to the man talking about coming from the prison. For 12.5 years, I ministered at the prison. Why did I love that? Because they were what we'd call throwaway people. My heart wouldn't let that happen. So we did what we could to give hope in the prison. We've had our church in Riverdale for 28 years, and we're doing the same thing. I tell my wife a lot of times, I think, they won't see this, will they? I tell my wife a lot of times, I think God sends us crazy people. I said, they all came from terrible backgrounds, but I think God sends them because he knows that I'm the person to help them come from the craziness that they've experienced in life. I want to say one thing to you that I was mentioning earlier. You can probably notice that I have a permanent tan, but I never try to lead my conversation with the fact that I have a permanent tan, because it's not what defines me. Jesus defines me. And I would say that to all of you, that in everything you do, don't let your skin color be what leads you. Let your heart be what leads you, and the fact that you want to help people. I'm here today because I want to learn different ways that I can help people. Some of the greatest people you're going to meet are going to be people who don't look like you. And a lot of times people talk about having a great vision, a great plan. Most of the things that have happened in my life, I didn't plan it. 37 years in a federal service, I didn't plan it. One day they made an announcement at school that the recruiters were coming tomorrow. I looked at the fellows and we said, hey, let's go. And we'll skip out, we'll go eat hamburgers. They didn't let me out. So I had a bad idea, but God used it for good things. 37 years later, I retired and here I am in Utah. That wasn't my plan, but God uses those kind of things. So never let the things that seem strange to you remain strange, because God can use those type of things too in your life. Don't allow people who are different from you to allow that to be a problem for you, because some of your biggest blessings are going to come from the least expected places. Never bottle yourself up. Never reject people, even people who may have done crazy things, because the crazy things are what help make them who they are, and it's going to help bring something that you don't have to the table. I've enjoyed myself today. I wasn't even planning on coming today. I've enjoyed myself though today. And I want to share a scripture with you. In Daniel chapter 10, Daniel was praying, and he said that the angel Gabriel showed up and said, from the moment that you started praying, I heard you. He said, but the prince of Persia held me up, means there's demonic strongholds. Why am I telling you this? I'm one of them guys who likes to attack the demonic strongholds. So everything that you're planning on doing, if you feel that there's something holding you back and you just don't know what it is, let me know about it. Because that's what our church does. We pray to break through in the spirit realm so that you can make progress in the natural realm. I want you to take my email, because everything you're battling with, I want to be your prayer support. I want to be your prayer support. And anybody else, I want to be your prayer support. I love America. I don't get along with those people who hate America. I'm your Uncle Tom cohort, because I've been called Uncle Tom more times than I can think of it, because I love people, and I don't care what color you are. I love people, and I want to help people. Let that be your heart also. We can do a whole lot more together than we can ever do by ourselves. And there are things you don't know. What do I need? I am not a techie. So I need help with technical stuff. I can do a lot of other things, but the technical stuff I don't do. I love being here. I love you guys coming. He said 6 visits, you become an honorary member of Utah. I say 5, you it.
Oh, to me, I don't know where to begin. I guess I'm Marcus, founder of Growing Unified Development. I guess let me stand over here so.
Yes, the camera.
So my name is Marcus from Growing Unified Development, and it's been an interesting journey. We began in 2019 as our historical African American recreational center was very much in trouble to be removed from the historical site. And that's how our organization began in Ogden City, where I'm from. We're also a historical family from Ogden City as well. So that was the beginning of our fight. And then it just grew from there, meeting Ms. Renda and Jamie Wadman, Path Forward Utah, Utah Parents United. I can go on with the different things I've done with them and advocating for the state. That's been a really, really wonderful and crazy 2 years learning legislation. And one thing I did learn is never just live in your state. You gotta be a part of your state, and that's gonna take sacrifices. And some of us has earned that key. You know, a lot of gas, a lot of time up and down the Wasatch Front fighting for the different things we have for an organization. I'm very proud of being Utah and a historical bloodline. I'm very proud of that. So we've led a lot of things, and we've met wonderful organizations. Carrie, I'm Uncle Tom too, because since I joined you, I'm a sellout. I'm not black enough, right? So, you're from the gang. So, but you know, it's been wonderful because I can look at this man right here, that's part of our, he's also a historical family, and we also had a historical boxing program from Ogden City. And his uncle Cookie, Cookie Valencia is very famous in Ogden as well. We brought out a lot of championship boxers that came out of this historical African American recreational center. But he's also my enemy. Me and Ernie, when, you know, in our younger days, I don't know how much I should tell you on this because I don't want y'all to look at me different. But me and Ernie was once enemies. Our gangs did not get along, or who we were affiliated with. And I have another member that just joined. He would be considered an enemy as well. We have 3 gang members that came together as an organization and as one to say that it can be done among us in our community. Gusto's from Salt Lake, me and Ernie's from Ogden. So, and that's how it works. So we're the little rascals. And everything else. But we're the little rascals of Utah that maybe has put a thorn in the system, but it's been wonderful working with some of the different organizations. We stood for the Utah Fit Talk. It's been wonderful working with Joseph Carey. So we're an organization, we're built for historical, our education, and our values as Utahns universally for our children.
Good. Dolores?
My name is Dolores Green. My organization is Royalty Awakened Multimedia Corporation. And we are joined with, first I'm still with Growing Unified Development. I'm his mother. And we wanted an organization, and we're the older, the more mature group. So we're the 50s, 60s, 70s, and he's the younger generation. But the elders, we have a lot of knowledge that we want to pour into our young people. But anyway, we have the same values, the same goals, the same visions, and we want a micro school as well. What I did with these kids at Ben Lomond High School, I would like to see more of that in our state and more in Ogden and Davis County. So our vision is to empower our children to feel better about themselves because they have low self-esteem. COVID hit them really badly, and it's changed the dynamics of how they think and how they feel. They're on their computers all the time. They're not very social. So thank God for one and all, because the events that they have are free to take that pressure off the parents so they don't have to worry about spending money for their children to be involved in activities, to bring them out of the homes and to get together and know one another. That's going to build stronger communities. So that's what our goal is. I'm not going to spend more time because once I get going, I get going. But Marcus said most of everything that we stand for, we want to build this micro school, 1, 2, or maybe 3 that we need that's going to help our children. The K through 5 is the most important. I read data the other day stating that if prisons and jails are based on the academics of the kids in the 4th grade. If they're not reading and writing and comprehension and math, 9 times out of 10, they will fall by the wayside and they will end up being in jail or in prison. So the goal is to start from that age, K through 5. If God will bless us with that opportunity, and if we are blessed with funding to get us a micro school built so that we can start there with the math, science, mainly the agriculture is really big for our children, and we want our children to learn about how to grow food because we have a food desert here in Utah, water situation here. So where we're headed, we're ahead of time with the thoughts of this is what we need to be thinking about for our children, teach our children about these things, about Black history that's being missed, the positive part of Black history. We need Mr. Woodson's curriculum inside our high school, like where I am. I want to start with Ben Lomond with the BSU, start teaching them some of this positive Black history that shows resilience of our Black people so that these kids can learn more about Black history so they can feel better about us and themselves as well and how we treat one another. So basically that's it. Thank you.
Ron, do you want to just come up here? Because Kevin's got his. And then Brooke.
You guys, come on up. You rascals. Just wait, just after he finishes.
Some of you heard my story yesterday, a little bit about my background. But I'm going to tell you something. One of the things that, when I started a relationship with God, He promised me something. He said, if you will tell your story, I will change people's lives. I will turn their lives around. So one of the struggles that we have is we're actually selling our business, Ron Williams Fitness. We're selling that business so that we can go out and tell the story. And we have a process that, sometimes we get stuck in a mindset. And when we're stuck in that mindset, we can't move forward because we're stuck. It's like a gerbil on a wheel. the harder you run, the more, you're still sustained in that position. You just get more tired. And coming from the ghetto, that's what I was doing. I was running faster. But there's a way you can get off the wheel and move forward. It's a process. And you, like I said yesterday, you can change your shoes, your house, you can change anything. But when you change your mind, you change the person's life. One of the things I learned is that everything comes from a seed. Even in Luke 8:11, it says the word of God is a seed. And whatever he plants, it grows. You came from a seed. Your mother and father came together, and a seed was planted. There you are. Well, inside of us, we have spiritual seeds that we don't even know about. And when you go through what I went through as a child, you acquire what we call soul wounds. And those wounds capture the seeds. A seed can survive over 200 years until it's planted. And those seeds could be books, could be a life, it could be a marriage, it could be an invention. But those seeds stay inside of us because they're never planted into the soil of the heart so they can produce. They don't create passion. And so our job, me and my wife, is to go out, tell the story. How can you get those seeds planted and be healed from your condition? As the pastor was saying, there are spiritual adversaries that we have that does not want us to be successful. We can see things in the natural, and we're fighting against people, but there's something behind the scene that's actually propelling them to go forward. You look in the Old Testament of the Bible, everything was physical. Everything in the New Testament is spiritual. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to pulling down strongholds. So we don't get angry at the people. We get angry with what's controlling them. And we go into prayer over that. So even as I said yesterday, what I would like to do is to put together a group of prayer warriors that this movement that we're talking about, it would be undergirded with prayer to pull down those strongholds that's over our lives individually and collectively to keep us from moving forward. One thing, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to quit. In Acts 1:8 it says, after that the Holy Ghost has come upon you, you shall receive power. That word power is the word dunamis, which means, that's where we get the word dynamite. So if you take a stick of dynamite and you sit it in the center of a room and it explodes, it changes its environment. So when it comes to people not liking me, I made my mind up years ago that I was going to be that dynamite. And if you don't like me, when I come into the room, you're going to have a different opinion when I leave because of what I bring to the table. I am an agent from God. And, it doesn't matter who doesn't like me. That doesn't matter to me. What matters is what my mission is. And my desire is to make an impact. It's hard to hate somebody who's giving to you. It's hard to hate somebody who's giving to you and just gives love. With that being said, in February, Black History Month, me and my wife have made a commitment. We're going to be 28 places in 28 days, speaking and teaching resilience, and you can. And every opportunity that we get, we're going to mentor people, not just talk about it, but help mentor them to raise to a higher level. Thank you.
I'm Brooke Stevens, and I'm the Education Director for Utah Parents United, and I'm the President of Empowered Parents, which is the C3 arm. And what I love about your organization is we applied for a mini grant to bring rights to parents who don't speak English to the different communities, especially refugee families, because they don't understand what rights they have for their children. I used to teach ESL to refugees from different countries, and they feel very disempowered. So That grant is a great thing that we're hoping to get, and thank you for that opportunity. Because parents being in charge of their families is of the utmost, and that's what we work for. And the second thing is 1776 Unites. We're trying to get out there. Carrie's been awesome about giving classes, so we give that to our parents so that they can have all these resources. So my husband and I, we built an educational learning platform, which if you're doing schools, you can have access to, that we've acquired many different curricula that are empowering of families in America. And Civics Alliance is another one. I noticed that you were on that. So we included American Birthright, the standards on there. And we hope to bring all of those to families so that they can teach their kids the best about how they can advocate for them and for their country. And the other thing that I think, besides what you've done, I really like the CAN Center to help educate. And I'm curious why you haven't mentioned that yet.
What I can.
Yeah. It's a great organization to help people build up. And so look at that. And
And you're done.
and that's it.
No, please.
I think the battery just went out, so Ernie, you're gonna have to come up and take Mrs. Woodson's. Hello?
That's a good.